My way home. I'm on my way home, y'all. Let me tell you something. I worked today. I worked today. These residents have no idea how much I be trying to go to bat for them. I worked today, though. I'm going to tell you that right now. So I'm on my way home. I was supposed to be off the clock an hour and a half ago. Excuse me, sir, but why are you so close to... You know what? I'm not going to go there. So I was looking at something today. Again, on 50-50, and there was a man who was talking to another man on the couch, and the other man was all 50 plus. She clean house, she take care of the kids, she do this, she do that, and whoop whoop whoop, and she pay half of the bills, and the other guy was like, nah, my wife, or I guess his girlfriend wife or whatever. He was like, no, he makes sure he take care of home, and he doesn't want his wife to have to do all the work and then come home and have to pay 50-50, or. So I was listening to all of the women's feedback and all of what they were thinking about a man paying 50-50, and just listening to their feedback, you know. How do I say this? Even with dating, when I hear some of the horror stories with dating, if I know that I'm going out to dinner, and y'all already know my situation, I can't date. But let's say, for instance, I invite my mother to go out and my daughter to go out, or if I go out, or me and my cousins and my sisters and we going out. Usually, I get the bill. And if I'm going to go anywhere and I know the price of what the menu is going to be, I've already done my due diligence. I already know how much the food is going to be. I already kind of calculate. I have to give a tip, because if you're going out to eat, it's just the right thing to do is to give a tip. And if you don't have enough to give a tip, you don't even need to be going out to eat. You just don't. So, again, I come from the times where men thought it was a disgrace for a woman to pay the bill. Or when I say, well, I'll go, no, I got this, I got this, you just relax. Or with you and your friends, which y'all trying to drink, or which y'all eating on. See, I grew up with that, you know what I mean? But then I also grew up, when I was in my dating or early 20s, that I wanted to prove, no, I can get the bill, I can do this, I can do that, I can, and I did that too. When I first was dating my husband, like, we were both doing but we were both back and forth getting the bill, but he showed me that he could be a good provider. So there was times he paid and there was times that I paid. But for men who want to go out on dates and then say 50-50, you can't afford to date, and you don't need to date, and you need to be staying home until you can, what I'm saying? It's just like somebody wanting a car, and you don't know the expectations. You don't know what it takes to keep up that gas, that oil change. You don't know how. You can't afford the note, then don't even look at the car. So if you go out automatically wanting a woman to pay 50-50, you need to stay home and eat by yourself. You need to. Like, I don't understand, why is it so hard to get the bill, or why it hurts you. You're taking it from somebody who's been on her own for some years now. Getting the bill should be like nothing. If when I remember, not remember, when I would take my mom and my grandmother out, and I'm like, order what I want. You know what I mean? eating. You know, she a kid, so she gonna always like head and not the tail. But when you sitting up here like, we gonna split this down, okay? Is this and no, nope, 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 no. You can stay home, okay? It's okay to stay home. It's okay to stay home and not date. A man should, men are, how can I say, men are very strong, and men like to have a reason to go after certain things. You know, you see men around here with them real nice cars. That man worked for that. You know, it's a certain status when you are just like, no, I got this. And if you are thinking that because you pay for a meal, that should give you a status of you are just all of that, something's wrong with you. Something is really, really wrong with you. And then you wonder why women act a certain way, because a lot of these women has been known in the workplace. Women are dominating the workplace, which means that money is in the pocketbook, which means that these women can easily go out to dinner on their own. So I don't believe in a man paying 50-50. No, I don't. But I do believe it shouldn't be. I believe that when you're in a marriage, because it's all y'all's. When you in a marriage, you both working together for something. I don't believe it should be like, well, you pay this and I pay this, and my bank account, your bank. You know, let me backtrack that. Let me backtrack that, because some people, when they get married, I know in their hearts they're just like, it's my husband and I want to share my account. I did that, and he shut my stuff down, even though I put his name on my stuff that I had since I was 17, 18 years old, and he had his attorneys to shut that account down, to basically try to say we don't. It was so dirty the way he did it. So in the past, I would say, you know, what's his is yours and yours is hers. But nowadays, I'm not gullible and I'm not naive to say it's good to have your own bank account, okay? But a husband and wife is supposed to be working together, okay? You're supposed to be putting in together. Yes, when you go out, baby, what you want to eat? I'm about to order right now. It becomes so fluent that you ain't sitting up here looking at pennies like, okay, I put my 1 cent, where your 1 cent at, that's gonna make our 2 cents or whatever. No, but once you get on that status of really truly dating and marriage, it ain't even about what you put in and what he put in, is what you both are putting in. But some people, they want to make sure they look out for themselves while they taking from you. I would never understand. I remember years ago, a guy wanted to take me out on a date. You asked me out on a date, and then said, okay, this is how much it's going to be, so you're going to need to bring this. And I said, oh, no, thank you. I don't want to go out no more. You can't afford, you couldn't afford me then. So, no thanks. You need to go after the 50-50 women. But in the 50-50 man, you're going to get some 50-50 type stuff. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to wholeheartedly get somebody that's really going to be like, I got you. Now, I don't understand it. And maybe I've been so independent for so long. What's wrong with getting the bill? I know me personally, when I go out with folks and I know I got it, I'm like, I'll take the check. Oh, no, I got it. Sometimes me and my cousins, we would have to fight, and I'll be like, no, I got it. You see what I mean? Because it's just like, if I got it, you know, I've always been taught this. If you are a blessing to someone, the blessing is going to come back to you. I want to be the head and not the tail. So therefore, it's nothing to pay the bill. So I don't understand, as a woman being a weaker vessel that I am, I don't understand why it's that big of a deal to you. I don't understand why it's that big of a deal to you. See, and then people be looking at women as though you're supposed to do this, or you've been doing this, or you've been accustomed to doing this. Well, some of us have been put in situations where we had no choice but to do it. But don't get mad because she started off, you know, as a waiter. Now she's the boss and she's bringing in a type of money. But my thing about it is that what's up with these dudes out here that's thinking like, just because you bought some crab cakes and that stuff is little stuff, and you thinking like that's so big, like you couldn't even say, I got you. I saw a guy take a woman out on a date and the woman had her children. You drove, you got there, you had them order and they were all eating and you left them there. Okay, and people was leaving comments, but it's women like me that wouldn't even tripped off of that. Like if I knew, okay, so who coming? All right, all of y'all would have calculated that already. Okay, that's how much that's going to be or whatever they said. Or maybe, you know what, we're not going to hit up that restaurant. Let's go to Golden Corral because it's all you can eat. You know what I mean? Like I would have calculated that and I would have already calculated the tip too. But that's just the woman that I am. You know, that's just the woman that said, I don't understand a grown man, how he could leave a woman and her children and they be like, I ain't got time for this. That's called cheapness. That's called cheaperonis. That's what that's called. Because if it was me and I went somewhere and this person had children and I had to, and I know I got it to help and provide, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? And I've done it so many times. So it's nothing. It's nothing when you're in that type of status. That's why to some men, it's chump change. Some men be like, should I pay more on my dog food? Like, are you kidding me? So you got some of these men out here that are crying and boo-hooing about buying her a drink and taking her to a restaurant. Number one, don't eyeball the restaurant if you can't afford it. If you can't afford a tip, if you can't afford to buy your date, if you can't afford to pay for it, step your game up so you can afford it, and then you can go on a date. If you too cheap, if you can't afford that, find a place where you can afford it. Again, there's all you can eat buffets out here for $13.99. There's all you can eat buffets out here for $15, $30, and then you pay the waiter a nice tip. And if you telling me you can't come up with $40 just off of that, then something ain't right. You need not to date. You need not to date, sir. You need to go to date. You need to go to dating etiquette school. You need to go with the real guys, the real men, to show you what to do. Because no. No, that's why nowadays women have their own money and they pay for. So there was this huge thing that was going around where this man took this woman out, but the sign clearly said all you can eat oysters. I have good conversation. Don't go out anymore with her. You know? Don't go out with her anymore. Some of these things too on YouTube. Whatever. So some of these things on YouTube, some of this stuff is like made up just so they can get a whole bunch of views. But again, if you can't afford to go on a date, then don't. If you can't afford and let me tell you another thing too. Do you know that eagles actually will test their mate? They will, from my understanding, a female eagle will test her mate. She'll fly all the way to the top with a little twig or something in her little claw and drop it and see if the male eagle will catch it. Most women test a man out to see whether or not he's going to be a good provider just by the way he treats her. When he treats you, when he takes you out on a date, and if he's somebody that's looking at the cents, if he's somebody that's like, where your wallet at? If he's somebody that's not, you know what I mean, that can't do right then and there, then he's not going to be a good provider. I don't give a daggone what anybody say. He's not. Because when you go to an interview and you put your best foot forward, meaning you looking like money, you showing up like it, and you know that this person really wants this job. This person has showed up on time. When you showing up for an interview looking like a bum, Like you just came, like you just got off the couch and you walked through the door, then basically you really like, I'm here and I really don't give a dag on about it. So when a man takes a woman out already, she is seeing whether or not this man is going to be somebody I want to be with for the rest of my life. And when you automatically come off like, so you gonna pay or what? I got the money to pay, but you just blew me. And I don't want nothing to do with you. It's just like, okay, I'm not gonna do nothing. And some of these guys are doing things on purpose. Like that one lady where the guy was like, can I go in the back and wash dishes and stuff? And she had her phone and she was just very quiet. And people were posting in the comment, see you little dumb chick, you should have asked him whether or not he needed help. For what? For what? For what? For what? Like, I'm just trying to, I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding that. I'm just not. I'm not. I just don't. Should men pay 50-50? No. I believe if a man is taking a woman out on a date, you need to go ahead and take her out on a date and treat her accordingly, like a lady. I really believe that. When my daughter gets older, I would want that for my daughter. You know, I would want that for my daughter. And granted, later on down the line, y'all start going Dutch or whatever, then hey, but I really believe like that's what's wrong with folks, is that they want to go Dutch, and then next thing you know, the woman is paying for everything, Like, I can honestly say, in my situation, my daughter's father, he sends child support. You know, he sends child support every single month. You know, and I'm not ashamed to say he paid $300. He pays $300, even though inflation has gone up since she was born in 2015. He's still paying his $300. I'm not gonna complain, because that $300, I can use those 10 grocery bags. Okay, I'm not gonna complain, because there's some woman out here ain't got nothing. But it was amazing how I was like, dang, you know, my medical insurance with me and her is over $300. Okay, but it's cool. I'm the mama. God bless me. I'm fit the bill. I ain't even tripping. But you get what I'm saying? It seems like some men believe that there's certain type of women out here that can do on their own because they're doing on their own. And again, a man I don't understand it. I'm not going to understand it. I'm not going to understand that she's sitting up there. There's a lady one time that was basically saying that her son, she told her son, if the woman makes more than you, then she need to pay everything. And I looked at her and I said, why would you tell your son that? Your son 30 something years old, and you stay with him and you dating somebody and you don't pay for everything. And she kind of laughed. I said, see, that's what's wrong with y'all. You know, you got some others out there that want to teach their sons the wrong things because they really don't want their son to leave the nest, which he was old enough to leave the nest. But I'm like, why would you tell him not to be a provider? Why wouldn't you tell him to not put his best foot forward in being accompanied by a woman? Like, I don't understand that. I don't understand it. So I'm going to say this. Personally, I do not believe when a woman and a man is going on a date, unless they both want to agree and she's just happy-go-lucky with doing it, then hey, by all means do you. But some men have gotten it in their heads that everything we're going to do is going to be Dutch, or because she got money, she going to pay for everything. And so this guy that was in the video, he was going off and screaming, talking about, no, I want her to do and this, that, and the third, and she got to do and this. And some men who've been raised by mothers want mothers. Does it make sense? Some men who've been raised by their mothers, and we got a lot of single parent households where mama did every daggone thing, and now you done find your new mama and you want her to do every daggone thing. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Just because I have to do it, because I'm not going to say I'm on survival mode, but it is what it is, don't mean that I should be doing it. Now, and some men out there, they're capable of doing it, but too selfish to do it. Therefore, them the same ones that shouldn't get a date, and they shouldn't get any cookies either. Because if you're trying to work for a woman to be in your life, then you need to put your best foot forward. Again, you'll go out there and buy a suit for a job, won't you? If you're trying to get if you're trying to get the best job, you'll go out there and buy that suit. And while you're working that job and making sure you getting that bankroll in your wallet, you upkeeping stuff, you getting the nice cars, you'll go out there and get a nice car, won't you? But you won't invest in the woman that could potentially bring your offspring into the world. Something is wrong. Absolutely, utterly wrong. Something is wrong. Gosh, my daggone. Man, you just want to go Dutch. You wanna go Dutch. I could have went out Dutch with my cousins and stuff. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And some of you women out there, like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. Good. And he's looking for somebody like you then. But for the rest of the women out here that are just like, what's the big deal? I eat like this a lot. Like, I go, why would you go after something that you know takes care to maintain? You know what I mean? It's just like, there are certain women out here, when they have a baby, they're very particular about what they give to that baby, down from the milk to the certain diapers to the clothing that baby, they take good care of that child. It has to be clean around the area. Things are done. I don't understand why you can't put your best foot forward when it comes to being in the company of a woman who could potentially be your wife. And if you're just like, well, I don't want it to be, like I said, then the type of woman that you're looking for, you can't go after the ones that you know have expectations, and they're not even high expectations. And so let's go to the male and the female, the wife and the husband role. You know, you got a lot of men. I've been hearing that a lot of men are looking for traditional women out here. But like this one guy said, it takes a tradition. You got to be a traditional man. You want a woman that's going to cook and clean, that's going to wash your clothes and do all of this other type of stuff. The reason why a lot of women out here are really like fed up with it is because she had to step into shoes which she was not supposed to be stepped in, but hey, she's in it now. So it's like, why would I need to cook, clean, take care of the kids, and then lay on my back and have you fussing and going on? Nah, man, nah. Some women have learned to just say, you know what, it is what it is. I'm good being single. That's it. I'm done. I would treat me out because I know what the bill would be. I would treat mine out because I know what the bill would be. I'll also do what I gotta do to make sure that I'm providing for my offspring, because the man didn't do that. And there's a lot of them that's doing that these days. And you can't ignore it. I know a lot of men don't be wanting to hear that, but it's a lot of them. So when the guy was talking to the other dude on the couch, the man was basically like screaming at him like, nah, she gonna cook, She gonna clean, and she works 16 hours a day, and she gonna come home and do, man. And he was like, so bottom line, you just basically treating her like a slave. And the guy was getting so upset. And some women may like that. They like some women may like being bossed around and being dragged to smithereens. I don't know. I can't do it. Won't do it. Ain't even with it. And no. I think that if a man works on himself, if you work on your character, if you work on your character, if you educate yourself, it shouldn't be anything with taking a woman out on a date. That should be like, it shouldn't be anything. And if you can't afford to do that, then just don't go on a date. I wouldn't do anything until you can better yourself in a position where you're just like, I'm going to work hard and enough to muster up some dollars to take her out on a really good date. That's what I'm going to do. And if you're not even willing to work hard enough, I don't care if you have to go out and get a second job and say, man, I just want to take her out. And like I said, you can go to a buffet. It's like the same amount of money you paying just to go to McDonald's. You know what I mean? You can at least put the initiative in working for that. We even look in the Bible who was the guy who was working for Rachel's hand in marriage? He did 7 years and did another 7 years. You telling me you can't even work? And he was working the fields and making her father a buku amount of money. God has positioned man to be a blessing towards his family. You think that God, if he don't see the intentions that you have for this woman, he not going to bless your pockets? You think if you love your wife or love your fiance or this potential woman, and you ask God, Lord Father, can you help me to be a good provider and enlarge my territory so that I can have this good woman and have a good family? You think God not going to bless you? I have seen it done with my own eyes. I have seen men get blessed with more than 6 figures of income and over just off of the simple fact that they're married. God will bless the man just because he's carrying his wife and his children. I had a conversation with a gentleman earlier this morning. He came in, who wants that? Our Father in heaven knows how to give good gifts. He does. And he knows how to treat us good. He will give us the best gifts. Okay? So if why are you so close? Why are you so close? Stay back. Sorry, you guys. I know he saw my little sign language, because he back now. That's how you see people just doing crazy stuff and they getting these collisions and stuff because somebody not paying attention. Anywho, so God knows how to give good gifts. So God made man in the image of him. If you want to say, okay, Father, I want to be a man to be able to provide for the woman that I want to marry. And I want to be able to I don't want her to ever want for anything. And Father, I'm asking that you please just enlarge my territory and put me on that level to be able to show her a good time and to treat her. You'll be amazed. Like, then all of a sudden you just getting blessings and money just in your pocket to do things like that. But then if you have this selfish streak and thinking like, man, whatever, what you got on? How much the bill come up to you? So what I ordered was this. What you ordered is that. So what we talking? I don't understand it. I'll never understand it. Especially because I'm raising my daughter and I'm taking care of my household. I'll never understand why a man can't. You really couldn't You really couldn't step up to do that? You really couldn't pay for the bill? And if a man said, well, I couldn't afford it, well, you couldn't, why would you even go on a date? Why would you go on a date that you can't afford? Work on yourself first, sir. Work on yourself first. Get a job, nighttime job. Do some Uber, some DoorDash on the side, some Instacarts. Try to get some extra coins. And then, if everything's too expensive, go to the bowling alley or something, to the movies, you know what I mean? And see a nice movie, or, go, like I said, you can go to the all-you-can-eat buffet. You can't go wrong there. And trust me, there are women that'll be like, okay. They'll just be excited to go, especially if it's a good woman. But at least put the initiative. Like, don't not put the initiative. Don't sit up here and be lazy because your mans and them told you don't need to pay her, man. She don't need to eat. You pay your half, she pay her half, and that's it. That's all. Everybody good. Really? So it's always going to be like that. And see, I don't care. I always look back in the day. I had my own money. I had my own place when I was 18 years old. My first apartment, 18 years old. Okay? I've been working since I was 14 years old, and I was working at McDonald's. Okay? My very first job was working at McDonald's. Let me hold on real quick, y'all. My very first job was working at McDonald's. And so for somebody who to be like, no, she need to do everything. No, that's selfish. And that's a sign of selfishness. It's just selfish. It's selfish as heck, man. I don't care what anybody say. Anytime you want a woman to go Dutch, that says a lot. It says that you won't be a good provider. And even to somebody, well, I was just testing you to see, why would you have to test me? That says you playing games. Why would you have to test me? Don't take a woman out on a date, because dates are very traditional. Back in the day, men took women on dates. But don't take a woman out on a date if you can't pay the bill. And if you are going to marry somebody, you have to understand what's going to go along with marriage, especially a male. That woman that you're about to marry could get pregnant one day. And if she starts having children and can't work because she's at home with the children, you are going to be the head of the household. But remember, like what I said, don't be afraid like you're shaking in your boots. God is going to bless you to be a provider for your family. He's going to bless you overwhelmingly. See, that's where a lot of men get it wrong, when they think that it's only them that's doing it. Baby, you don't know the angels that was sent to make sure that you get ahead just because you have a family, and especially if you're doing right by your family. And if you are trying, action and faith go together. If you are trying, you are going to be blessed. All of a sudden, you're going to wonder like, Dad, where the cars come from? The house came from? The money just came? Everywhere I look, I was getting raises and promotions. That's God blessing you, because you are a model of how He created you. Okay? Now, don't get it twisted either. The Bible talks about the virtuous woman, okay? She like a ship. She comes like from afar. She wake up early in the morning, getting her house and everything together. And she's like a ship. When she come home, she comes with all type of gifts and merchandise and everything. That's a good woman. That's a good woman that keep house and keep things in order, okay? So I don't want you to think like this man is taking care of some baby. But there's roles as a husband and a wife. Because I know it was plenty of times, and I'd be like, babe, look what I got. And he'd be like, how did you get all of that? Or, furniture sets. And I remember when we moved into our first home, we had over 2,000 square feet. And I remember my mother-in-law at the time talking about, don't get discouraged that you may have to wait years before you get a dining room table, please. Before 6 months came up, the daggone house was filled up with all types of things. So women, we're more than just helpers, okay? We can do some things and make it happen. We can make it look good. We can make it look excellent. We can bring forth a comfortable environment. You know what I mean? We can bring forth a comfortable environment. And there's a lot to it. So, your husband taking care of you, and he loving you, and he working. I've seen a lady who married a man at first sight. I don't know, this was the first time. And while he was working all in New York. And when he came in the house, she was washing dishes. And he was hoping to have like something to eat because he was hungry. And I was like, girl, what the heck is wrong with you? Your husband worked all daggone day, and you didn't even try to go to a really nice fancy restaurant and order takeout and at least put it on a plate for him and be like, baby, welcome home. You didn't even do that. You had nothing for this man to eat. And then had this, why you didn't get anything when you was out. That was trifling. I've seen some trifling women. So I don't want you to think like I'm going on men who's not paying for stuff, but women too. I've seen some trifling women have your man out there working and then can't even cook a nice meal for him to get home and enjoy and sit at the table and tell you how his day went. I used to enjoy those talks. I'd be like, baby, how was your day? What? They did what? That's because they're jealous of you. I used to enjoy that type stuff. But so I don't understand. I don't understand. It goes both ways. I think that in a relationship, both should be putting in to add up to 100%. Okay? But women shouldn't be put in scenarios where it all lies on her back. Okay? And men should not, at the end of the day, a man could go through so much in his day that he is really looking for comfort in the company of his wife, whether it's a good home cooked meal and just to hear his wife, the comfort of her. So I don't, you got some women out here that get their logics wrong. You got some women out here that act too daggone rough because they've been out here with their guards up. You know what I mean? They've been out here duking it out. They've been burnt before, meaning they had somebody come through and mess their stuff up, and it took them a minute to rebuild, and they ain't like, I ain't never going through that again. I ain't never, ever, 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 ever going through that again. Maybe I should have left work early. Maybe that's what I should have done. I feel like I'm traveling through the universe right now. So no, I do believe that when you're married, you both be like, all right, babe, when you go into something, you see how much it is, and you both like, how much do we got in our account? All right, so the bill is this much. Okay, let's go ahead and pay the bill. I was always taught that he who borrows from the lender becomes a slave to the lender. And around that time, when I was married, the house basically belonged to my in-laws. And I remember my husband crying the blues to them. We're going through so much. And they was like, don't pay this month rent. I was like, are you out of your mind? We paying this month rent. No, please don't. I guarantee you that money order. And I told my husband, please take this to your parents, because I'm not nobody. They prefer to pay for their own meals. And the reason why they prefer to pay for their own meals is because they don't want to feel like they're obligated. Again, if you feeling like that with the person that you're going out with, you shouldn't be going out with them. But things are so risky for these folks these days. Man, I really hope we don't get no snow, y'all. It's November and it's cold out here. Like, it's cold. Like, this weekend it was like 80 degrees. And now it's like 40 degrees. It's like so cold. It's like, yikes. But no, like, I don't, like I said, even my nephews, if I had a son, you know what I mean? When he gets older, like, you are also, you're a man. You run this. Like, you don't. No, I would never sit up here and be like, don't open a lady's door. Don't pull back her chair to ask for shit. Like, these dudes need to go to gentleman classes. See, that's a good business for some of you men. You can start a gentleman class. You can start, and matter of fact, you can start the daggone thing flying around the daggone corner. You can start it. Look, I'm giving y'all good pointers here. You can start a gentleman class to teach men, young men, when they get, like, how to do things. Number one, you got to put it into them. You got to read books. Educate yourself. But the importance of being a provider. Even Napoleon Hill, I was listening to some of the stuff, Think and Grow Rich. I remember listening to some of the stuff, and one of the things he said is to, number one, always take care of your family. They're the only ones you got. Like, you look out for them. He said his secretary, he married her because not only because he was in love with her, but the things that she could do, he just knew, like, she's going to be amazing in my life, and I got to marry this woman. You know what I'm saying? So I started to laugh, but I thought it was very sweet that he would say that. But those traditional men, you looking for traditional women, those traditional men, they died for their women. They died for them. They went to wars to make sure that their women and children had. These jokers these days, I ain't talking about all y'all now, because y'all know. But only the ones who can get mad are the ones I'm talking about. But the ones that be like, man, she right, ain't nothing. Y'all providing for y'all wives, It's no ifs, ands, or buts. That's just, it comes along with the territory of being a man, being a leader. I don't know why y'all came up with out for this and out for that. No. Ain't nobody dogs and wolves around here. We're talking about men, okay? We're talking about good men. Good men that know. Good men that know what to do. Good men that know how to take their significant others out on a date and have a good time. Good men where it's not tripping that he showed her a good time. And you don't know, too, the women always go back and they brag, so, oh my goodness, he took me out on this amazing date, and he opened the door, we went out to eat. I thought, I was like, am I going to have to pay for this bill? And he paid for it. I know daggone well you not on my behind like this with them high beam looking lights. You know what I'm going to do? I should just turn this. Let me stop it, y'all. But you get what I'm saying? Most women, they will brag about stuff like that and be like, he took me on an amazing date. He paid the bill. We laughed. We had a great time. A really great time. And I felt like this was just so awesome. You know what I mean? So I don't see what's wrong with doing that. Like I said, this is foreign to me, because this is somebody that's looking over the fence with binoculars. All right, I'm not in the dating game. So when I hear about these things, I'm like, what's going on out there? What do you mean men aren't paying? What do you mean they're going Dutch? What's got into these guys? What do you mean? I had a cousin years ago talking about she want me to pay her way, or because it says menu and it says me and you, and I left a comment. I said, cause they're not paying, men not paying for women's meals anymore on dates. And he was like, nah, cause I'm just playing. I'm like, I know you ain't tripping, Mr. Baller. I know you not tripping over no forks and knives. I know you're not tripping. What's going on? This is ludicrous. What do you mean? What do you mean they're not paying out there? What's going on? Well, who's paying? Nope. No. A man should have enough in his wallet to say, I got this. I got this. It was one of that, what's that guy named whatever his name is, Rogers. I learned from the greats. He said it's the way you do it in style. You walk up in a room, and I remember I would go into a restaurant, me, my grandmother, and my daughter and stuff, and I'd be like, excuse me, they'd try to seat me somewhere. I said, no, I don't want to sit here. Please find me a good table. Trust me, you appreciate the tip. It's the way you do it. You can pay us some money and be like, get us a good table. It's when you do things in style, but the mere fact that you're not even trying speaks volumes. Like, you're not even trying. You're not even, and even like the women who be showing up looking like anything on a date. But then there's women out here who want to cry about, you took me where? That should have been like, oh, no problem. Right on home. So, everybody's talking about this cheesecake lady. I honestly don't think that that's real. I think that was like some made up type stuff. But there are some women out here where their expectations are like through the freaking moon, and they need to wake the heck up, okay? You wanting all of that, you wanting whatever, you wanting certain things for the camera to see, but the reality is not what you think. You get what I'm saying? So, like I said, this whole dating situation is just, I don't know, but men should definitely be able to cop bill when they're going on dates. And if you feel like the date is going to be too much, and be like, I only got like $50 in my pocket, or I only got like 100, then wait until you get enough money, or go somewhere where it doesn't cost too much to go, go somewhere, like I said, to the what's it called, the buffet, well, that the bill ain't gonna be that much. You can eat as much as you want: seafood, shrimp, salads, chicken, all of that stuff, and it's not going to be that much. Be creative with your dating. Your dating doesn't have to be going to a 10-star restaurant that's going to be like 600 bones after no, be creative. Go roller skating. You know what I mean? Or if somebody don't think they're fit enough to do that, then, just be creative with it. Have fun with it too. But by George, please, fellas, please, make sure you take the tab. For goodness sake, go to men classes. You know what I mean? Go to men classes, daggone it. Somebody said, I know y'all like, what's men classes? Like I said, I'm giving business ideas out there, and it should be men teaching men how to be men instead of them teaching with women to look for no. Teach them how to be men. Let me tell you something. When the bill comes, you take that bill. I'll never forget. And this is real. My father-in-law used to always pay for us to go out to eat or whatever. And I told my husband, invite your mother and your father to go out to eat. And you're going to pay the tab. Because guess what? We had a joint bank account. You know, the one I put him on. I said, you're going to pay the tab. And make sure you give a good tip, too. Because I knew how much was in it. So we went out to eat or whatever. And then, of course, the bill came around. And I looked at my husband like, you better not let your father pay. You better not let him pay. You know, and my husband was trying to take the tab. And he was like, no, I got it. And I'm looking at him like, don't let your father. Because, you know, I felt like in that situation, like your dad needs to know you're a grown man, okay? You have a wife and you can pay your way. And at the end of the day, you should be a blessing to your parents. Not because they may have it like that, but you should be a blessing enough to be able to say, Dad, I got this. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at him like, make sure you know what I'm saying? Make sure you give a good tip too. You know? So, it's, again, when people are making big deals about it, you really got to ask, like, what is the big deal? If you don't have it to go out on a date, then don't go out on a date. Don't even start seeking people until you can get yourself together, okay? Don't even come up with these sad stories. Like, you have to really get yourself together. And then when you got enough to take a woman out on a date, you know, choose somewhere and ask her, how would you? Oh yeah, sure, okay, I'll be there at a certain time. You know, pick up on your way, talking really nice and have a good time. When it's time to leave, wait, can I get the, take care of that. Don't be all looking and counting and, oh, okay, you want to go ahead and pay a tip while I do. Nah, man, that's just, no. Oh, no, man, no. Don't do it. And he'll see exactly what you're doing. And if he know that I see, okay, Johnny over here taking Sarah out on a date, and he really didn't have that much, but he made it stretch, and he took her out on a date, and he was a gentleman. I'm gonna bless him. I'm gonna bless him even more to always have money, and you just don't. I'm trying to tell you, when you got good intentions, God will bless you very good. Very, very, very good when you got good intentions. Gosh, man, it seems like I've been on a journey today. Journey just to get home. I didn't think but yeah, when you got good intentions, God is gonna bless you and make sure, like, you're good. So some people, when you cheapskate, or some folks got it, but they just selfish. Like, who the heck want to be with a man that's selfish? He was selfish on buying biscuits and gravy and chicken, and you think that you're going to be a really good provider? No, man. A woman is already thinking in the back of her mind, man, it's going to be hell on wheels. Ain't no way in heck. No thanks. No thanks. No thanks. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. No thank you. No thanks. Yeah, so again, like I said, what's that? Saw a little creature run across the street. All you saw was his beady looking eyes. God is so smart. Even with animals that run across the street, you can see them eyeballs a mile away. Sometimes I be seeing deer on the side eating, and I be beeping the horn like, get your Bambi legs back in the woods before you become 3 points by the car behind me, honey. Deers be running like crazy back in the woods. I hate to see when I be seeing a lot of dead deer out here, and I just feel so bad for them. Because, deers are just, they're very gentle creatures. When they get in the tangle, man, that's it for them. And them big old fat, gizzard looking birds, man, they around here too, and they be waiting. They be waiting they be munching on that stuff, and I'd be like, that's disgusting. They'd be like, somebody gotta clean it up. But anywho, so that's my 2 cents on it. Men should, when you're going out on a date, a man should pay. A man should pay. And if you've been out on a date multiple times, and a woman is like, look, I got it. It's my treat. It's my treat. And y'all go out, then I think that's great. If both of y'all go out and one ordering this, and then y'all both start doing, I think that's awesome. And I'm not sitting up here saying that everything, like a man don't have, but he just got finished paying all the bills and everything, and he don't really have it. His wife just, she getting paid, and just like, I'm sorry, honey, that you don't have anything. No, not like this. Like I said, I always thought that what's mine is his and his is mine, until my husband ran off with his, mine, and his, and mine, and then I got left with, he shut down my account. I remember screaming at Bank of America, how could you allow this? How could you have allowed him to shut down my account? Roar! Ma'am, when you put him on the account, you put him as an account holder. And because of that, he had the authority to shut the account down. We're so sorry. I was like, how could you do this? How? I had that account for years. I did, and he went through and shut that account down. So I believe this. I do believe it's good to have your own account, just in case somebody want to shut it down. It's not supposed to be that way, but unfortunately, when you with people, some people will take you out, and some people, I remember years ago when I was in high school, I was like in the 12th grade, and this guy wanted me to do his hair, and I did his hair. And then I went over there again, and then he made sure that he paid for me to catch a cab home. And then I went to do his hair again, and I guess he got upset because of the conversation. He did not pay for me to take a cab home, and I literally had to walk home. And I asked the cab driver, could he please help out, because I don't have any money. And back then, cell phones weren't really out. And he was just like, no. So I had to walk all the way from Benning Road, like this was like across the bridge. I don't even know where that place was at, all the way to Capitol Heights. And that was just horrible. I think back then we still had like payphones and stuff like that. And it taught me a valuable lesson to always make sure I have money on me, and I would never depend on a man. Or I was just honestly a teenager. I will always make sure that I had my own. But then, not just that, then it taught me a valuable lesson when I got married, that yes, although I have great intentions, and my intentions was to make sure that, my husband was included on my accounts, he didn't have good intentions when he exited the door. He shut everything down to make sure I had hardship on me. And I learned a valuable lesson in that. Although my whole thing is that what's mine is yours, and the heck is that? Oh, it must be one of them other lights that's blinking like that. It gotta be. So yeah. So I would say this is that make sure you got your own bank accounts. I could easily be like, no. What's yours is his and his is yours. Shoot. I'll be a fool for sitting there telling you, girl, look. Nope. I'm sorry. Nope. I mean, hopefully you get to the level with both of y'all. You have so much love and respect for one another that you would never betray one another. So you don't even trip about the accounts because you're like that. And my hat goes off to y'all that's on that level, that really love each other that much that you would rather die before you do your spouse any harm, any wrong. That's that real love right there. That you would rather die before you do your husband wrong or your wife wrong. And that's that real love right there. So you money ain't nothing, counts not nothing. You both working, they both eat good. You both working to both, make sure that the children is good, and y'all got it going on. You go on trips and stuff like y'all king and queen over this giant. Like really, but people need to understand, like, a woman can't work herself so much and then be expected to be a provider. Because if that's the case, what is the purpose of a man being the head and being the head of the household? What's the purpose? Like, why are you here? Why are you here? And some people say, well, you're just thinking about money. No, I'm thinking about a provider. A provider. I wouldn't want my daughter to get older and then one day marry and she working like to the bones. No, absolutely not. Heck no. Should men pay 50-50? Heck no. Real men don't pay 50-50. Real men don't even care about the daggone bill. Like, they just like, check please, I got it. It was a great time, those type of men, that come natural to them because God has blessed them so much. They don't even be looking at little stuff like that. It's only the ones that have to prove something or think somebody gonna take something away that they too afraid to be the head, not to tell. Like I said, as a woman, if I'm not afraid to go up in there and pay, and I'll pay over the, and a lot of women have been so used to doing it, so it's not even that big of a deal. So if we don't think it's a big of a deal, why are men making this thing to be out a big deal? And it's not. It's really not. Anyway, that's my 2 cents about it. Y'all have a blessed night tonight.